Hi, I'm Chad. Welcome to the Rave.com. I'm here with Tim Kasher of Cursive, The Good Life, and most recently, The Game of Monogamy. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming to the Rave. How's the tour been?
It's been really long, but it's been great.
48 shows, 2 months?
Yeah, really over 60. So,
over 60?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you just finished up your album, and it's released now, The Game of Monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
It's been great. I mean, it was a good time to be out touring. We're out for 3 months. This is our last night, actually. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You chose to record it in Montana. Any particular reason?
Well, I really just wanted to live up there.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to live in a small town, and a good friend of mine had done some recording there. There's a nice studio called Snow Ghost up in the mountains there. So I just went for it. I wanted to live in a small town for a little while.
Okay. Your albums, from The Good Life, from Cursive, and most recently the solo album have pulled from like domestic issues, things like that. Would fans be, if you didn't release things like that, would they expect differently from you? Would they, accept anything different?
That's good. That's kind of like the conundrum of any, I guess, medium, of like writing medium, because I tend to think of it's kind of like that conversation we all have of pop punk bands and why they just keep putting out the same album every album,
True.
But if they didn't, people would be truly upset. They kind of just want they want to kind of have that same vibe. Mm-hmm. Even though musically I tend to change up a lot, I don't change up lyrically a lot, and I wonder. So I ask myself that question sometimes, like, am I, but I'm very aware of it, and I always feel that I only will retouch on topics if I feel like I have something new to say about it. And to be fair, that's probably what a pop punk band says too every time they do the same album.
I've gotten that answer, yeah. Can you respond to this quote from The Onion? 13 years and 11 albums into your career, it's never been more obvious that misery suits Tim Kasher.
I read that.
I like that quote.
Yeah, and I think they're right. The thing is that it always surprises me. Every album I do, it's really in the months after it's released where I you get all this feedback, and then it will occur to me like, wow, this is really pretty like miserable stuff, and I just never really think it is at the time when I'm doing it. Also, when I'm going back and playing older songs, whenever I kind of pick new songs out from the catalog and start playing those live, I tend to be kind of surprised too.
Gotcha. You like to pull from uncomfortable, topics and put them into your albums. Where do you draw the line on these topics?
I try to not draw the line. I think that's the point. That's the point of it, is to not censor what you're writing about. But I do, to a point. There's people that don't need to be so hurt.
Yeah.
It's
true.
I wish that wasn't the case, actually. I wish that I could just explore everything. And I do explore most everything, and people do kind of take their damages as they come, and it's all really fiction at the end of the day, and that's what I always fall back on. But yeah, I do have to. I think I try to censor things, I think probably for my parents a little bit.
When you're pulling these uncomfortable topics, do you thrive on that? Is it just, are you like struggling against writing it? Like, I'm going to pick this topic and then go with it, and it just comes naturally to you, or what process?
I think that you do have to find things that are on like another level of discomfort. I don't think they're things that necessarily come naturally.
Is it like a way to cope with the things that, like, getting older?
No, I think that it's stuff that I find interesting, and it's whatever topic you're working on. This is just my opinion. I think that we could probably spend a lot more time exploring this, but to deconstruct it and a topic or whatever it is you happen to be writing about, to really deconstruct it. That's where you can find the things that you just wouldn't say, that nobody says, and I try to look for stuff like that, because also you want to write. I'm like always trying to find something that people haven't really said yet, or you're trying to touch on things that are maybe newer.
Mm-hmm. You got a big New Year's show coming up with Cursive, Domestica. Were you hesitant at first, being asked to do this album? Like in a whole, a lot more artists are doing like whole albums as a show. Whole, like, you know, seminal albums.
Right. I'm actually kind of hesitant. It's probably.
Or more excited, I guess.
I probably shouldn't speak on it too much.
You're very excited.
I probably shouldn't say my true feelings about it. No, I will say the reason why we're doing that on New Year's is we got invited to do that show, and it's an expensive ticket price, and it's not because of us. It's because it's Chicago New Year's and everything's so expensive. But I still felt terrible about it. So I gave it some thought, and my response was, well, what if we make it something that maybe feels a little bit more, you know, like basically like let's just try and give a really good show. And so Matt from Cursive, he'd been throwing around this idea of it being a 10-year reunion of that album coming out, and so it seemed like a good reason to do it.
Definitely. Lucky fans going to be attending that show. It's, you know, the end of the year. Do you have anything topping your music list for the end of the year? Best albums?
I'm becoming so obsessed with Kate Bush and Hounds of Love. I'm becoming really obsessed. I mean, I feel like I just love her so much. It's the way I felt. But anyways, that came out in, I don't know. That came out in like '85 or something like that. But this year I didn't really get a chance to get around to much, and I hate to sound dull by not keeping up with music, or you know, I certainly don't think I'm above it. I really wish I did keep up with stuff. I love Spoon, so I got that at the early in the year, Transference, and also Dr. Dog I think is great. And it's probably what I would say was the best record this year.
Awesome. What's next after this tour? You say that today is the last day, and then you got the Cursive show. What's after that?
I actually have. I'm very frustrated with how I've scheduled myself. Actually getting home from this tour, I have 5 days of practice. We're doing a show. There's a band we did before Cursive called Slow Down Virginia, and I'm doing our first show in 16 years. I think.
Awesome.
On the 23rd in Omaha. So that's. Really annoying to me right now. But it'll be fun.
Awesome.
You know?
Well, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Check out Tim Kasher next time he's at the Rave or a city near you, and pick up the game of monogamy. Thanks for watching therave.com. There you go.